All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. So I figured since we tried the other day, I promised you we would do the Charlie Kirk stream on Jubilee, and I did what I could, guys. I did what I could, but the YouTube gods were not in our favor that day. So if it is still up, but we only got like an hour through. So this was actually from, when is this from? From 4 days ago. I don't know if the actual event was 4 days ago, but Charlie Kirk was on stage with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, I don't know if this was one event or he's been doing like a tour, but he's and RFK. He had Megyn Kelly up there, Charlie Kirk now, all these people. So we might be doing some more of this. Let me know what you think about it. As always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
Charlie Kirk, ladies and gentlemen. Charlie, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Tucker. Hello, Wichita. Great to be here.
It is. I'm sure it'll get you in some kind of trouble, that intro, but it is literally true. Is it kind of weird to have like replaced an entire political party?
I mean, I don't know if we've done that, but
okay.
But
yeah,
just to be fair, I mean, the RNC used to be so weak and so feckless. There's not much to replace. But
well, that's totally fair.
And
that is definitely fair. Shout out to Huge Erection. Welcome to the party. Going out to the poll. If you have some values, hit the like button. You can double tap your screen. You can long press your screen. There's the 3 dots up there. It is very easy and helps out so very much. Thank you. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother.
And the reason being, and this was our argument from the beginning, is that every one of you deserve a Republican Party as conservative as you are, period. You deserve your leaders and your leadership to at least be in the same ballpark of your values. And we've seen this, Tucker, over the last couple of years, especially recently, where in this audience, there's not a single person who thinks we should send money to Ukraine while we are currently being invaded. They think it's insane. And yet, that is... So you have 7,000 people here tonight in Wichita, Kansas, that has basically a unanimous agreement that our own borders come before the borders of a foreign country. Super simple.
Again, that's barely even an opinion. That's essentially a fact. Shout out to Zippy DSM Lee. Welcome. Said, I should say I am empty-headed. I'm just tired of dealing with lying leftists and dogma-sucking fools. I hear you, brother. Welcome to the party. Yeah, they get it. I mean, brainwashing, and the way they said that sounded mean. That's how you can be against them. I mean, that's it, right? Like, if you just listen with an open mind, then I don't know how you could.
A unanimous agreement that our own borders come before the borders of a foreign country. Super simple. However, that is a minority opinion held by Senate Republicans. And that's right there, we've identified something of which revolutions are made of.
Well, I think that's a really insightful point. And just for people who don't have context on this, you would know because you know all the Senate Republicans and you're not guessing in any of this.
I know every single one of them. At least I can profile them and I know what they believe. And I know
the 7 Republicans? Is that like a name for like the America First politicians in the Republican Party or something? I haven't heard that before.
At least 80% of them personally, from text message, phone calls, and you lived in DC. And it's as if they believe once they're in Washington, there's a secret society that they enter, and you guys just don't understand it like they do. And again, they're not only
there is kind of a secret society. I think we just understand it a little bit better than they think we do.
Are they wrong, but they're not there to actually come up with their own opinions on these issues. Their first concern should be, what do my voters want? Because they're your proxy. That's the system we have set up here. It's not an oligarchy where they're there to tell you what they think in some sort of a meeting with their national security team. No, instead it's, They're there to fulfill the mandate that the people put in the ballot box. And so we have a breakdown of our system. And it's not just that issue, but it's issue after issue of major things that are tearing this country apart. And what gives me hope, but also anger, is the people get it. Is that the people in this audience never want to see our country locked down again and call the church non-essential. The people.
Yep. And yeah, like he was saying, 99% of people do not understand. If they did, they would not vote for, they would never vote for a Democrat. And I can tell you, as somebody who has only ever voted for a Democrat and then was so terrified of casting a vote because of how much I realized I didn't understand at the time of casting that vote. You are absolutely right. Absolutely right. Zippy says the system works trust in the system to implement and follow complex rules it never gets right. So trust the system. It works, comrade. This 200% vodka is not strong enough. I need a paint stripper. There you go. There you go. Guys, again, if you could do me a huge favor and just hit that like button, it really, really does help. Thank you.
This audience do not want to see the FBI get another building while moms and dads are being profiled at school board meetings. Steve Bannon is in federal prison and Donald Trump is facing 700 years in federal prison. Why are Republicans giving the FBI a new building? So the people get it, but our leaders seem as if they don't care about what their voters think. We're trying to fix that at Turning Point Action. We're trying to make the very easy adjustment that the people and the voter sentiment should be mirrored by how the Republicans in DC act.
But I gotta say, bless you for saying everything you did. But I just wonder, like, this seems like a crisis to me because the only legitimacy that our leaders have is the consent of the government.
Shout out to Mike's shitty internet provider. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. They look like Mr. Steal Your Girl. Hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for stopping by, brother. Good to see ya. Good to see ya.
A crisis to me because the only legitimacy that our leaders have is the consent of the governed. We don't have a hereditary monarchy. We don't have an oligarchy. Our system is based on the idea that democracy they're claiming to save is based on a single idea, which is the people own the country, and that our leaders are legitimate to the extent that they reflect our desires and views. And when they don't, they're illegitimate. They're tyrants. Yes. Like, that's our system. Is it not? Am I missing something?
And it hasn't been our system for a couple decades, but Donald Trump revealed that system was no longer in existence. And that might be his greatest and longest lasting contribution.
I agree. I think that it maybe wasn't super clear that this idea of the romanticized Democratic Republic, like that's long gone. But there's still like the boomer class, the legacy media people who just think that, it still works like that because they're being told it still works like that. And they like, how would we expect that if all they know is we go to the news and the news says this, then it's no wonder why they're so brainwashed.
Is that he comes around and says, wait a second. You guys want a border wall and you don't want millions of people coming across your border. Why has Mitch McConnell been in Washington, D.C. for 40 years and we don't have a border wall?
Good question. Good question. Shout out to Ray Numi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And just like right now, whenever I feel like it, so hit that subscribe, ring the bell. You will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Why is it that Republicans have been running this place for so long and you guys have these concerns that are constantly ignored? Why is it that we send our factories overseas to foreign nations and yet we have trillions of dollars to go colonize Iraq and Afghanistan and try to have gender reassignment surgeries in Syria or whatever the State Department is interested in? And you're correct. What we're experiencing over the last decade, in my opinion, is the revealing that the founders' constitutional system has not been around for quite some time. That the consent of the governed is a mirage. We have these things called elections, and that you vote for the lesser of two evils, which you should all do, but then they actually don't do what you want them to do when you send them to DC. Trump changed all of that.
Exactly. And that's perfectly said. That is, we often talk about Trump being the bull in the china shop, and that was definitely necessary. And I still would have liked to have seen after 2020. If the Democrats weren't so crazy, still obsessed with Trump, and we were actually able, as a party, and I don't consider myself a Republican, but I'm definitely right-leaning in this landscape, we could have moved on from Trump. You know, who was it we were talking about last night who was saying that Trump, it was Bill Maher, saying that Trumpism is not going to go away with Trump. And the Democrats don't understand that even still right now, the best thing for the Democratic Party is probably Donald Trump winning. Because if he doesn't win, guess what happens? He's still on the table for 28. Now, okay, is he really going to be the front runner in 28? Probably not. But we said the same thing. And well, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of us said the same thing in 2016. So, I mean, if I'm a Democrat, and I'm a liberal who watches all this stuff about Orange Man Bad day in and day out from morning till night, my only goal would be to make sure that this man stays as far away from politics as possible. And you clearly can't like beat him, at least not legally. So just like get him in there, let it. It's a matter of they really do think that despite the fact that he's already been in office, despite the fact that there was a lot of bullshit with 2020, but he's not still in office. There was no war. He did peacefully transfer power. That it doesn't make sense to keep everything that is making politics so polarized on the table. Make it make sense.
And Trump changed that by going after the fundamental problems of what really Washington, D.C. cares about. Number one, that we should not import endless foreigners from the third world while our own citizens are suffering. That is number one.
True. Shout out to Smiglo. Sorry if I'm saying that incorrectly. Welcome. Said Kamala Harris, can Trump on these Bidens, not gonna lie. What? Dude, start living fuck politics. I did just get home from my full-time job. What you been doing all day, homie?
Number two, the thing called free trade is a scam to get your garages filled with plastic that you'll never use while your local factory closes and the school can't make payroll and your community has to become poor, but you're actually getting richer because it's called free trade. And number three, which got him.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, that kind of goes in line with the whole idea of like planned obsolescence, that they're purposely designing things not to be the best thing, but just to be replaceable. I'm even seeing a lot of videos, TikTok or whatever, of Apple people who have like, I've never had a phone but an iPhone, and they come out with a new phone and it's the same phone, and you like, they're realizing that the messaging, that whether it's political propaganda or corporate marketing or anything else, maybe it's not what it seems. Maybe.
I'm in the most trouble is that it is not the American Defense Department of Defense's mission statement to try and break other countries, to invade the world and invite the world. The only mandate of the Department of Defense and the U.S. military is to protect our people safe and to make sure that our nation is not under attack. Now, just really quick, those
facts, again, like just as long as our nation is not under attack, that is the most important thing. Shout out to Alex Tremo. Said, is he LGBTQIAPNZ, or do they just talk like that in his culture? I don't know who you're talking about. If it's me, I think I speak pretty normally, but okay.
Three things are what we call the neoliberal consensus. We use the word uniparty a lot, right? That's the uniparty. This is why Kamala Harris is being endorsed by Dick Cheney, because they agree on those.
The fact that they think that is a good thing. Like, well, I just got the endorsement of Dick Cheney, as if that's supposed to be impressive to anybody. Did I save that? No, I didn't save that one. I got another one for later if it does come up. But Smiglo said politics just equals yapping, meanwhile stealing. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but the question of who is doing the stealing and who is doing the yapping definitely changes our everyday lives. So are you going to be able to overhaul the entire governmental system? Of course not. But if you think there's not a difference between a Trump America and a Kamala America, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to help you. Like, exactly. Like, this is stuff that's happening right now. But yeah, it's just, and again, I ask, what is it that you spent your time doing today that was so much more important than talking about our country and an election that's in less than 2 months? That sounds like cope to me. Shout out to Bryson. Welcome to the party. Said, we've been living in fear of something our entire lives. A continuous barrage of being in fear of something. It's almost like they came up with a word for it called fear mongering. Yeah, that's the way to go. Shout out to Audra Dawn. Welcome to the party. So I'm so glad I found you. Just subscribe. Well, I'm glad that you found me as well. Welcome to the party. We got our own President Donald J. Trump in the building. Said, I will win. And he knows. There you go. Welcome to the party. We also got the Funk Master General. Bam, 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 bam. Welcome, said Dick. Some people just live up to their names. That is right. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for my co-host, Morty. Come here, bud. Yeah, come here. There we go. Yummy. Thank you to the Funk Master General. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you very, 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 very much, sir. We also got Ashley Sanders in the building. Welcome. So this is not just a normal election for the GOP. It means everything to us, because if Trump loses, he's going to be held accountable and put on trial again for trying to illegally overturn an election. I want to hope that it's all rhetoric about them talking about you. What did you do, Morty? God damn it! Oh, hold on. I lost my thing. Okay, there we go. I want to think that they would want to be in the same, kind of mindset as Trump when, he was lock her up, and they never really did it. But of course, they went all full bore and they really went there. Crazy. Shout out to Michael W. Welcome. We are checking out Tucker and Charlie Kirk. Since the last Charlie Kirk got nuked, I figured we would try again. Oh my goodness. Funk Master again with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. And of course, that is another treat for Morty. And guys, don't forget, if you are we have the free Discord server. That is absolutely free. But if you are a member, if you just got gifted a membership from Funkmaster, then you get full access to the server, which includes the after party channel. Make sure you join, guys. Member or not, it is a great place to meet people, have conversations. It is an absolute free speech platform. There is not one single word or phrase that can get you banned. I mean, you get yourself banned, but just not by saying naughty words. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Shout out to David. It said, Dream Team, Trump, Vance, Vivek, Elon, Bobby, Tulsi, Tucker. I like that. And I cannot lie. Welcome to the party. That indeed would be the dream team. I love it. All right, let's dive back in here. Thank you, Funk Master General.
This is why Kamala Harris is being endorsed by Dick Cheney, because they agree on those 3 things. No restrictions on who comes into America. It does not matter how much crap you import from the third world with plastics or textiles, because we don't need to make stuff here. And finally, we're going to invade every sovereign country that looks at us funny. Those 3 things have been governing the country the last 40 or 50 years. The reason they hate Trump is not because he talks funny. It's not because, he's all these different, whatever names they say. It's because he does not believe in the core religious orthodoxy of the neoliberal governing elite of Washington, D.C. That's why.
Facts. Thank you again, Funk Master. But especially if you are new here, like Kitty, welcome to the party. You'll know that I am, or you won't know rather, that I am an atheist, but I was brought up in the Catholic Church, and I have very high respect for Christian values. I just happen not to believe in some of the truth claims. But there also is absolutely a dogmatic adherence to the government from a lot of other people who consider themselves atheists. And just because you don't have a God that you believe in to no end doesn't mean that you can't put that faith wrongly in something like the government. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Garrett Grant. Another 10 gifted memberships. Oh my goodness. You guys are being so generous already. Hell yeah. And like we just were saying, guys, the Discord is absolutely free to join. Did I put a link in the description? There should be a link in the description. Let me drop that for you right now. Zippy, if you are on... You can, I definitely need you to be dropping them links as I'm talking about this stuff. If you are here, so that is the link to the Discord server, guys. It is absolutely free to join. But if you were just gifted a membership, join the Discord. Send me a DM with your YouTube name, and I will make sure you get full access to the server. Thank you, and welcome to the party, Garrett. All right, let's jump back in here.
Religious orthodoxy of the neoliberal governing elite of Washington, D.C. That's why they hate him.
I think that's... I don't even think that's an opinion. I think it's a very succinct and nicely put description, but it's hard to see how anyone could argue with that. Clearly, Dick Cheney just endorsed Carmela Harris. Like,
Carmela?
Dick Cheney. It's kind of a cool... No, I mean, I'm not... Really? So they get a guy who...
Well, okay, let me see if I can find this real quick. There was a compilation. Let's see. There was a compilation of... Are we doing this? What are we doing? Of the the mainstream media talking about Dick Cheney, and then cutting that in with Kamala being like, "I just got endorsed." Kamala Harris, Dick Cheney compilation. Again, some people are so good at finding this stuff. I don't know how you guys do it, but let's see.
Hot tip maze for...
No, I can't find it. Oh, is this it?
President Dick Cheney and Congresswoman Liz Cheney.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. No, all right, let me search. Let me try YouTube real quick. And we'll jump back into this if I can't find it. Again, if somebody else has a link to it and can drop it, I would very, very much appreciate it. Harris, Dick Cheney, compilation. Of course, they're not going to show it. Of course, they're not going to show it. See, this is why I try to save these. I try to save these when I find them, but I don't know. I didn't see it. Anyway, where we at here? Hey, we got M169 in the building. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. We also got J McG. Welcome. So finding God is like tuning your radio to your favorite radio station. You have to find the right frequency, brother, and tune into his presence. Hope you find him one day. Again, I'm doing it wrong. That's all right. Welcome to the party. I appreciate your kind words. Those of you who know, you know. She's kind of a Carmela colored, but I doubt she's sweet or delicious. Ooh.
It's kind of a cool... No, I mean, I'm not... Really? So they get a guy who believes you should kill people for profit. We get Bobby Kennedy. I think that's fine. I mean, I'm actually pretty...
Oh, thank you.
I'm kind of happy about it. He and his horrible daughter, his repulsive little daughter. Anyway, sorry, not to make it personal. She put a friend of mine in jail, and I texted her. I knew her really well. I texted her. I said, I can't...
They led to, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but let's say at least tens of thousands of American children dying. Come on.
Examine your conscience, Liz. She never spoke to me again, but I meant it. She has no conscience. But okay, so let's just get specific really quick. I love what you said. On the question, we'll just pick one. Well, pick it because I can't say this enough, on the brink of nuclear exchange. People I know who know a lot about this are very afraid right now, this evening, September 13th, 2024. So I'm upset about it. How do we get here? Well, we got here not because Republicans are like, no, really, the border of some Eastern European country I can't find is much more important than the border at Laredo. No, we got here because our ruling class decided that this was the most important adventure going. And then we have a leadership change in the Republican Party, and Mike Johnson from Louisiana, who I knew was like sort of a normal person, comes in and announces within like a week that his top priority is funding for Ukraine. And I call
Top priority. Top priority. How about not? How about anything within the confines of the United States of America?
him, I was like, what? And he did not give me a straight answer. I don't know the answer. How does a guy like Mike Johnson, who always seemed like a nice guy to me, how does he wind up buying into a lie like that has no connection to the preference of the actual American public and that could get our country destroyed? How did he get there?
Yeah, and look, I have a similar relationship with Mike Johnson. I give him grace, then I get really mad, and then I give him grace, and then I get really mad, and he forgives actually amazingly well when I call him.
I think that's actually a good point, especially again coming from the atheist side of things, wanting to bring more people who may not be believers, but we still want them to behave as if they are, or in the way that if they were believers, they would act this way. We don't want them acting like the hedonistic leftists, whether they believe or not. If you're a Christian and getting people to believe is on the list of priorities, that should be below the where it is when the people who don't believe still live in the same country as you, are still your neighbors. And so, what did he just say that I just forgot it? What did you say? Oh, grace.
Really mad.
Yes, grace. I think having grace is something that on both sides we need to be able to do. Like, for example, with some of the story, especially in the deepfake AI age, there's gonna be stuff that comes out that is ill-sourced, that is disinformation, that seems legit. I'm sure I saw it on TikTok. And yes, shout out again to our gifters. Glad to have you, Kitty, again. Make sure you join that Discord. I'll look through my my TikTok history and see if I can find it. Because it was really bad. I'm really mad that I didn't save it. But yeah, my point is that there's going to be stuff that comes across that seems legit, that you do a little digging and it still seems legit, but it's not. That's going to happen no matter who you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how well read you are on this stuff. You are going to eventually find yourself believing something that's not true. And we need to be able to get to a place where that is okay, as long as you are willing to cop to it and be like, oh yeah, they got me. That's it. You don't have to do some big mea culpa. We're like, oh my God, I apologize for misinformation. No, just, they got me. That's it. That's it. That's enough grace to tone things down.
And then I give him grace, and then I get really mad, and he forgives actually amazingly well when I call him out and I say that he's destroying the country. So I have to give him credit for that. What set me off with Mike Johnson? There are
so many things I don't know.
When he, as a lawyer, voted to say that the FBI doesn't need to get a warrant to spy on us as American citizens. That drove me crazy.
Crazy does not begin to cover it. Shout out to TV Viewerski. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Good to see you. Dickless is right. Dickless is right. I mean, well, I'll keep it PG. Keep it PG. Funkmaster said she's her father's daughter. He should have named her Dick Jr. Her name could have been Lil Dick. Oh, that's and Dickless. Dick. Dick. I don't know. That's a tough one. Audra Dawn says the right wing without true Christian grace would be a true nightmare. Well, try being an atheist on the right wing. There's not as much grace as you would think. There's not as much Christ-like values as you would think. There definitely is. This is the party where you're going to get that if we're talking left or right. Don't get me wrong. That's why I'm on this side of the aisle. But as somebody, again, who was born into the Catholic Church, I was confirmed in the Methodist Church, and I went all the way through to college, never, ever considering that my beliefs could be wrong. And then through, understanding, actually sitting down and reading the Bible, actually learning about human psychology and how we can, how our senses work and how easily we can be misled to believing something religious or otherwise. started reading about philosophy and other ways of thinking about the world and understanding that you can find things like grace and the other benefits that you can get from Christianity, you can get them elsewhere. I'm not trying to take religion away from anybody. I think it does a lot of you a lot of good. But there's too many people. Savage. There's too many people for whom religion simply cannot work. And if that is the case, then again, the priority must be to get those people to behave in a way that goes along with a Christian society. And I put Christian in quotes because I'm not really trying to litigate whether it was Christian values or Enlightenment values or class, but we can call them Christian values. We can call it a Christian nation. I don't even care about that. We have to understand there are people for whom religion cannot work. Are we going to throw them to the side, or are they still part of our country? Are they still our countrymen? Does our country have enough of those values to sustain a society, even with people who are godless?
Does it need to get a warrant to spy on us as American citizens? That drove me crazy. When
I'm sure they won't abuse it. The Biden administration just put Tulsi Gabbard on the terror watch list. She serves in the U.S. military right now.
And the intel agencies have spied on your text messages.
A lot,
and probably spied on mine. I mean, they're spying all of us.
Yeah.
And here's Mike Johnson, who goes and casts the tie-breaking vote, which is very rare for a Speaker of the House to do. Exceedingly rare. Basically, all of it would have said is like, hey, FBI, you have to get a warrant before you spy on American citizens' text exchanges. He said, no, I want to give the Biden FBI, in the middle of a campaign season, unrestricted access to all Trump campaign emails, all text messages, all phone calls. And I found that to be so reckless and irresponsible. Do you know what was the kicker, though? You can go back for 7 years. For 7 years, when he was on a committee, he was totally against the FISA statute. And as soon as he became Speaker of the House, he's like, well, I think it's very important because a bunch of Americans are going to die if we don't have the warrants and if we don't have all this.
But therein lies the mystery, and it's a sincere mystery. And I even asked him, like, you seem nice. When did you become a monster? And people are not self-aware enough to give clear answers to questions like that. But you know him. What happened?
I can't speak to that. Again, I can say, though, that he is a creature. He's a symptom of this machine where unless you have the fortitude of somebody like Donald Trump or Bobby Kennedy, who you're willing to get shot at, see your uncle shot, see your dad shot, see yourself indicted, see yourself smeared and canceled, which is a very rare breed.
Yep. Before we move on, I found it, guys. I found the video I was looking for. Let me just drop it right here and pull it up right. Yeah. Oh, we got it. We got him. Loading. Where we at? We got it, guys. Unfortunately, because it is a TikTok, it's going to be, smaller, but it's
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney and Satan. That's next.
The Sith Lord is back.
Like a demon, it rises again.
Dick Cheney, Darth Vader, Satan.
Thank you to Satan for giving me inspiration on how to play this role.
We don't need Dick Cheney.
If you missed that part, that was what's his face? Christian Bale, who played Dick Cheney in the movie. He's like, thanks for Satan for the inspiration. Audra said, religion works for no one because none of it adds up. The rules of religion would stone all of us. It's the whole basis of actual Christianity. Grace. Those 10 rules of God were impossible. Agreed. It's crazy that an omnipotent being would have given us those, but that's a conversation for another day.
On how to play this role.
We don't need Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney was dangerous. That war.
The only thing you got to do is just be better than Dick Cheney.
I like to see Dick Cheney exposed. He's a liar.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
You were part of the Dick Cheney cult that led to hundreds of thousands of innocent Iraqis being killed because of the cult you were in.
Cheney dishonestly made up the idea they had nuclear weapons, just lied. Why do they want these wars? What is it that they don't like somebody because they don't like the look of their face?
Irrelevant national embarrassments, Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney.
Good old Kyle Kalinske. We got Liberty Plus TV in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. That monotheism was fabricated by pharaohs who were losing control of their slave population. He said it, not me.
Must remember Dick Cheney driving over to the CIA to look over their shoulders to make sure they gave him the intel that he wanted so as to justify the Iraq war.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
No apologies, no regrets from former Vice President Dick Cheney for the harsh CIA interrogation techniques.
Under Dick Cheney's tutelage, we got the photographs at Abu Ghraib.
We tortured some folks. We tortured some folks.
Former vice president at one point signing a waterboard kit.
Cheney, of course, unrepentant. You know what? Go to hell.
I want to talk about a man rotten to his very core, which is in itself a tiny black hole from which no joy or light can escape. The ancient Coptics knew this man as Unhohotek, the Dark One, the jagged-toothed forest demon who steals our children. We know him as former Vice President Dick Cheney.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
What do you think of Dick Cheney? And people would say, well, I hate everything he stands for. I am someone fundamentally opposed to the politics of Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney.
In case you are too young to know who was just on your screen, I'll pull her back up. But that is Rachel Maddow, the most liberal chick to ever grace television.
He stands for, I am someone fundamentally opposed to the politics of Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney. I literally started writing books in the first place more than a decade ago because I had so much to get off my chest about what I thought was wrong with the Cheney family approach to war and foreign policy. That first book I ever wrote is literally dedicated to him.
Dick Cheney, profoundly dangerous.
Cheney, I think, was arrested twice.
A master manipulator like Dick Cheney, willing to say anything.
And now as the cascade of misery and death and chaos, he did so much to
Hey, as an Indian man, okay, we prefer unibrow.
unleash rages anew. Mr. Cheney has the unadulterated gall to come before the country and tell us that it's all someone else's fault. You said there was no doubt Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. You said we would be greeted as liberators. You said the Iraq insurgency was in the last throes back in 2005. And you said that after our intervention, extremists would have to, quote, rethink their strategy of jihad. Now, with almost $1 trillion spent there, with 4,500 American lives lost there, what do you say to those who say you were so wrong about so much at the expense of so many?
No, I just fundamentally disagree, Reagan.
I actually have the endorsement of former Vice President Dick Cheney.
Cheney's the guy who told those guys to lie in the first place, you moron.
Ambassador Wilson wrote an op-ed titled, What I Didn't Find in Africa, that exposed Vice President Cheney's use of false information to sell us a war in Iraq. A week after Wilson's op-ed was published, his wife, Valerie Plame, was outed as a covert CIA agent.
God, all we did was out a CIA agent.
The criminal proclivity, power grab mentality of Dick Cheney.
And they twisted that intelligence.
All right, we get the point. We get the point. I mean, you know, I'm no huge fan of the FBI, but you know, I mean, let's keep it a buck here. Let's keep it a buck here. All right, let's dive back in here.
So your dad shot.
I just wanted to get that, but I just wanted to get that before we moved on from the Dick Cheney stuff.
So you're self-indicted, so you're self-smeared and canceled, which is a very rare breed. And understand, Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy have something in common, which Thomas Massey also has, which is a genetic deformity, by the way, which is that you happen to be likable, but you don't care what people think about you. Very, very hard to find that combination. And so Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy, that's what makes them such a threat to the system. Mike Johnson would be an amazing chair of an elder board of a local church. I have no doubt. Right? No, I mean that.
As long as things are going well, he'd be great.
No, right, exactly. Like the tithes and the offerings are, but hey, if they have to go.
As long as we don't need you to actually do anything important at all, you be the perfect person for the job. TV said the boys from Baghdad, Peter Arnett, Wolf Blitzer, and Bernard Shaw. Yeah. Good times, right? Good times. That is the Republican Party that I was so, I mean, I don't even know if I want to say indoctrinated, but this is the Republican Party that I thought of when I started actually paying attention to politics. That is why I was so primed to, and you know, call it excuses. I'm just, you know, I'm just talking, but, and there's no excuse for casting a vote for Hillary Clinton, but I was a Bernie bro. Because I followed mainstream media and I was primed to think that the Democrats are automatically better and that I was primed to believe the orange man bad type of rhetoric because of Dick Cheney's type of Republican Party. It is what it is. It's that's not the that ain't me. That's not my team.
Right? No, I mean that.
As long as things were going well, he'd be great.
No, right, exactly. Like the ties and the offerings are, but hey, if they have to go like build a new cafeteria, like get them out of the way, right? But this goes to the point is that and I have some sympathy for some not, because he didn't want the job and he got the job and fine. But he was not the person to stand up to the CIA or the FBI. These are the most powerful institutions on the planet, and they just had him for lunch, literally. One security briefing. He's like, oh, well, I got briefed in a skiff. And, at a skiff, a bunch of generals come in with their medals, and they do a bunch of woo-woo, and they say, here we have the A-Rod region and the D-Slam. And if we don't spy on all the text messages of the MAGA faithful in Manhattan, Kansas, we might have another 9/11. And he says, well, that makes perfect sense to me. We might as well keep on having that. And so
as soon as they release the classified 9/11 documents, then I'll know what 9/11 was, and I'll be able to understand that metaphor.
Right. Well, and
they will never. Are you kidding? When they release the 9/11 documents, Tucker, you know better than that. You know that none of us will ever see the real papers. They might release some stuff. They just released some stuff on JFK last year, a few years ago, didn't they? But like, come on, bro. You know. We ain't never gonna.
They release the classified 9/11 documents, then I'll know what 9/11 was, and I'll be able to understand that metaphor.
Right. Well, and I totally agree. By the way, Donald Trump should declassify all JFK, RFK, Malcolm X, MLK, and 9/11 documents on day one. Do we agree?
Can I just ask you a question? Because sometimes it's more revealing to flip things, do the photographic negative or something, the reverse of it. What would be the justification for keeping those documents secret?
JFK?
Bro, what? Okay, I think Tucker's just doing this to like tee it up to Charlie. Right? Like there's no way he's genuinely asking, well, why would the government not want us to know? Like there's no way, right? He's got to be just teeing Charlie up.
Reverse of it. What would be the justification for keeping those documents secret?
JFK?
9/11 was 23 years ago. Like, why can't I see it? I lived through that.
Because the same people are still, that's why they call it the deep state. Those same people are still there. Maybe not all of them. I mean, yeah, it was 20 years ago, but let's say you're a third-year FBI agent in 2001. You're 30 years old. Why would you think that 23 years later you would not still be in the FBI or not still have that information or not still want to keep whatever information that you've been hiding hidden? Shout out to Bonzig. Welcome to the party. Said he missed the main secret files. Aliens. I actually agree. I think that if there is some type of, J-Rod, there you go. I do agree, though. I think if there's some type of just extraterrestrial communication, that could be the thing that will bring humanity together. Like, I think, we saw what 9/11 did. We saw that COVID did not do that. And so at this point, I really do think it would take, something as big as aliens. One, then finally we can get rid of religion. Like, clearly you were all wrong because none of y'all had aliens in your fucking Bible. So we can get rid of that. And then we can start talking like intelligent human beings. Yeah, I know. Shout out to Avery. Welcome to the party. Said Charlie and Tucker are destroying the right. He used the same tactics in debates as leftists do when people don't agree with them. I agree. I think it's about time that we stop trying to put this, well, I believe in this. Is that what you believe, sir? That's why the Republican Party has been shit for so long. That's why the Republican Party is starting to actually be something attractive to people like me. Because we fucking getting in there and doing the damn thing. Instead of sitting down and letting the left ram their dick down your asshole. Fuck yeah, we gotta fight back. Welcome to the party. We also got the Man of Steel. Mid Most Mark. Welcome. Good to see you. Audra said the Bible is filled with aliens. They just don't call them aliens. Well, this goes into my whole thing about religious language. And the problem is, if that is the case, if we have discussions of aliens in the Bible, and they did properly predict what we would see with aliens, and they didn't say the word aliens, or they didn't say the word extraterrestrial, or they didn't, then why have we been all this time? The information's been there 2,000 years. Well, because he called it Ezekiel and said it was a man. You know what I mean? Like, come on. It's everybody's need to adhere to the Bible. It doesn't make sense. I disagree. I disagree that all they do is assume and bait. But hey, to each their own.
Correct. JFK?
And 9/11 was 23 years ago. Like, why can't I see it? I lived here then. I know someone who died. Like, no, I don't have a right to see that. Why?
I totally agree.
Bob said, "You look like a beautiful woman." Where am I? A beautiful woman with a beard. I've been told before. I'll take that as a compliment. Welcome to the party.
9/11 excuse. They say, well, people are still alive that know stuff. That's all a bunch of nonsense.
Well, I'm still alive and I want to know. I paid for it. I live here. I'm a citizen. What?
No, of course. Sorry, I just love it.
I'm sorry, it just enrages me.
We're going to get to the point, by the way, where we're going to be so disconnected from the JFK assassination. It will be like the Lincoln assassination. It'll be like 170 years. And they'll say, no, we have to keep it declassified. Let's just talk about JFK. It's so obvious why they're keeping that declassified. Because at the very least, the government knew it was going to happen. And at the probable, the government was involved in the assassination of JFK. And therefore, this is important. Because therefore, it is
Put a 1 in the chat if you've actually gone to Dallas, like to visit the actual site of the JFK shooting. I'm just curious because I've never been there, and I've heard that like when you're there, there's something about the spatial whatever that makes it really clear. Like, oh yeah, the way that they say that it just can't happen. And yeah, so TV's been there, Bob's been there. Do you guys agree that there's something in the air? Oh, you live in Dallas. Okay. But that's what I've heard, that people who go there, it's just like, oh, because if you've never been there, then you're just kind of like you've seen the tapes, you understand the concept of what's going on, but actually seeing it all like, okay, this is this far from, and I believe you can go up in the window where he was, right? And just like this didn't happen like this. This didn't happen like this. Come on, Bo.
Introductory radicalization event. And they know that.
Oh, wait.
An introductory radicalization event is what all of you had during COVID, which is where you start to then go down a sequence of questions. And once you begin, there's no stopping you. Wait a second. They just told us to wear masks when I shower. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Wait, it's not safe and effective?
Like, wait, my aunt's on her 11th booster and she has COVID more than I do.
I have so every time this gets brought up, I will say it again. I will say it again because I like to be right. Unofficially, anecdotally, just in my personal experience, I have seen that other people have also had their own personal experience that aligns with what I'm about to tell you. That of all the people that I know, the people who have taken at least one jab, all have gotten COVID more times than the people who have gotten no jabs. I don't know necessarily the correlation between more jabs and more COVID, but I know all of the people that I know who did not get jabbed either did not get COVID or only got it once, and to varying degrees. And everybody I know who got jabbed got it at least once, usually more than once. I'm not saying that it means anything. I'm just reporting my own anecdotal experience and asking you, do you have a similar anecdotal experience? The Viewerski said, I drove the same path as Kennedy. Something shot and it wasn't a gun. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people. And so when Tucker's asking, well, why won't they release the files? That's what I'm saying. He must be just teeing Charlie up because that's not a question that he's genuinely asking.
That's weird. And so an introductory radicalizing event is when all of a sudden basically the inner question asker within you is liberated. You guys all know exactly what I'm talking about, right? And at that moment, you're the most dangerous you could possibly be to tyranny and to an illegitimate regime. And JFK assuredly has elements of that. That if we get to the facts, again, we don't know, but we can speculate. We know that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't act alone. We know that there's some very suspicious stuff. The motorcade slowing down. What happened to JFK's head? What happened to the grassy knoll? Why Zapruder got it on film? Head went back to the right. Again, this is not a JFK presentation, but like I thought.
Let's go, Charlie Kirk.
I'm just being honest, right? And they're very elementary telling that Lee Harvey Oswald from the Texas School Book Depository, who was a bad shot in his class with a single bolt action rifle, was able to get off that many rounds in a short period of time with pinpoint accuracy, be able to get JFK twice in the head, and then also penetrate the governor of Texas without a second shooter yet. Every weapon.
That's what I mean. That kind of stuff, that when you're there, it seems very obvious that because I physically don't have a frame of reference for the layout of all this stuff, then I could accept that story to some level. But again, I've heard that when you go there, you can see that that is clearly not a reasonable explanation. And again, if we think about the timing, they didn't anticipate that we would be able to look over the footage over and over and over and over and you know, they didn't know at that time. They did not know. Where are we at? TV said my band has 7 people in it. 2 of us are not vax. The other 5 have missed the most rehearsals far and away. I'm just saying. It's not just me. It's not just me. And you can find fine. Maybe that's not science. That's not science, but that sure as shit is real life. Audra said, I know the CIA and Mossad took him out. I'm kind of in my head like, should I even be? Well, they're talking about it, so I guess it doesn't matter what I say. So Audra said, I know the CIA and Mossad took JFK out. They spent thousands of years taking down Camelot. They're building the NWO. JFK is the old. But we thought we could trust you. Famous last words, right? Famous last words.
They said, yeah, there was something kind of there on that hill. Like, shut up, we're going to cancel you. Of course, something happened there. All of a sudden, if there is a second shooter of the grassy knoll, therefore, the government lied about it, covered it up, was probably involved. Therefore, it asks the question, what else is our government involved in? And it is...
I don't know. Maybe the 2 assassination attempts on our current frontrunner? Maybe?
It's the beginning of the end of the illegitimacy of this government. And they know that. So they must keep it declassified. But there's only so many of these things they can cover up, because now with the internet, with social media, and the power of programs like Tucker's and our podcast, they're not able to control the corporate media like they were before. And they know that. And thanks to Rumble and Elon Musk buying Twitter and X, we are on the precipice, regardless of what happens in November, of the greatest enlightenment and the greatest eye-opening event in modern American history, where millions of people can finally see the truth. And those of us who are Christians know the truth will set you free.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Oh, the irony. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying not to go down this road, but I think they're gonna drag me there. All right. We'll try it. See. Fuckbusters trying to rain on my parade. I was just like, oh hell nah. I'm talking about this right here. Yeah. Love you, girl.
I didn't know any of this. If you'd asked me 20 years, I mean, my dad worked for the government. I lived in DC from the age of 15. I sort of bought into every lie. And yeah. I did wonder what I'm a hunter and a rifle shooter, and that's one of the crappiest rifles you could ever buy. With Butler. No, the Lee Harvey Oswald rifle.
No, for sure.
Are you joking? With like corrosive primer garbage ammo? Really? That's what he used to say? I never believed that part of it. But leaving that aside, I wonder if by continuing to lie, they aren't about everything. They're driving all of us a little crazy.
Well, this is why your faith is the most important thing. Because for those of us that are Christians, it doesn't drive you crazy. You actually see what's going on.
No. So there's no crazy Christians. Yeah, that's what you're telling me? You're telling me in all of politics, all of the sane people are Christians and all of the insane people are not. Okay. If that's what we're saying.
Because for those of us that are Christians, it doesn't drive you crazy. You actually see what's going on, which is
and then go back and tell me that Bill Maher is wrong when he says that religion is a supremacist ideology. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's okay if you think that you're better than other people. If you think you have the reasons to be better than other people. Just don't lie about it.
is that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and darkness and spirits, that there's a spiritual war here. And you're right, Tucker. I find people in this space that are not anchored to faith, anchored to Jesus, they do lose their mind. Because there is...
Maybe they lose their mind because people like you two sit on a stage and act like the only way is to believe in this thing that doesn't fucking make sense. And even though your brain is made to accept things that make sense and reject things that don't, we just feed it to you enough because it has the results that we want, we'll just pretend that the parts that don't make sense won't make sense. And then all the people that can actually see, remember we were just talking about truth. Were you not just talking about truth? All the people who can see through the bullshit, you think you're better than them. Now, hey, I will admit that for a lot of atheist, leftist, shitty people, you are better than them. But you're not better than me just because you believe this, that, or the other. And there's a lot of us. There is a lot of us who simply do not accept this sky daddy bullshit. And I understand that that most of you Christians don't actually believe that there's a man sitting above the cloud. I get that. I get it. I'm being facetious on purpose. But if this is the rhetoric, then how is somebody who is on the fence but doesn't believe, but believes in these values, but doesn't believe the truth claims, how are they supposed to feel welcome? How are they supposed to feel welcome? Shout out to Garrett said, I'm Christian and calling Cap on Charlie. Dilly to that. All this is doing is closing the door to people who might otherwise be very beneficial for the general right-wing movement. Like me. I can bring you a lot of people who otherwise are going to go over to the leftists and act like shitheads because they stand for nothing, because they don't believe in religion. But I can give them something to believe in. The American identity, values. We were talking about grace, community, family, merit, capitalism. All of these things matter. All of these things are important. And sure, you can find them in the Bible. But if you don't believe in the Bible, then we still need to make sure that this is a part of American life. And as you can all see, that's not happening when we keep saying Christ only, Christ only, Christ only, Christ only, Christ only. If Christ works for you, great. I am glad that you are not a shitty person because you believe in a man telling you not to do things. I'm glad that that's the case. I would not take that away from you because I think that means that you would go and do bad things because you don't have somebody watching you and you don't believe that you could end up in a fiery hell. But whatever. I don't care. I don't care. Just be a good person. Shout out to Funk Master General again. Flying right back to that double sponsor spot. We got a sponsor and a co-sponsor and a double co-sponsor. You guys are amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out again to anybody who was gifted a membership, guys. The link to the Discord is pinned to the top of the chat. It is absolutely free to join. 24/7, we're in there hanging out, having a good time. It is a great place to meet people. And Morty's always there. Yeah, Morty's always there. Like I said, it is absolutely free to join. But if you were gifted a membership or if you join as a member yourself, then you get full access, which includes extra channels and the voice channel. So I am live down in the studio every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then as soon as that stream is done, we go over there. We don't have to worry about any YouTube censors or anything. And you are not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. If you're not familiar with what Discord is, don't worry. It's not a whole other like news feed. And trust me. Click on it, sign up. If you don't like it, delete it. Even if you don't stay in my server, Discord is the way to go. And if you are a member, thank you again to our co-sponsor, Funk Master General. Make sure you send me a DM so I can give you all the good permissions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, sir. Audra Dawn said, it's so crazy because I am a Christian, because I am not better than anybody. This is fake Christianity then. The point is we all fucking suck and Jesus didn't. Yeah, that is more of the mindset that I would want people to have. And so that's why I'm not looking to take religion away from anybody, because especially on both sides of belief, there's atheists here who have very strong values. There are Christians here who have a very reasonable perspective of how to take the life and teachings of Jesus and put it into their daily life in 2024. I don't think it needs to be one or the other, but they both need to have resources, believers and non-believers. I just don't see any other way around it. I just don't see any other way around it. Thank you again, Funk Master. Let's dive right back in here.
Anchored to faith, anchored to Jesus, they do lose their mind, because there is no rational or reasonable explanation for what the country is doing to itself or what we are experiencing. But if you then see and you know that there is a God and we are not him, that there is an entire dimension of angels and demons and spirits that are constantly struggling around us, and that there is a supernatural dimension, as you mentioned.
So I would like a definition from Charlie on any and all of those words that he just used, because those are so ill-defined words that I'm not being facetious. Morty, you're standing in the light. My pretty face needs to be visible. Thank you. All of those words. I don't know what you mean, dude. There's an underworld, and there's spirits, and there's demons, and there's a dimension, and okay, I think I agree with you, dude. I think I agree with you. There are positive and negative forces. But how do you know that it's a spirit or it's a demon? How do I know that you know what you're talking about? How do we determine that? Monk said my values are sketchy at best. Well, at least you're smart enough to admit it and not be like Audra saying, the fake Christian, thinking that you're better than everybody because you have certain values that other people don't. That's the way to go. But yeah, let's go back through this and let's see how many ill-defined words are used here.
No rational or reasonable explanation for what the country is doing to itself or what we are experiencing. But if you then see and you know,
okay, if we see and we know
that there is a God.
Okay, what does God mean? So let's start there. God is one of the worst words ever invented. What is the purpose of a word, guys? The purpose of a word, the purpose of language, is to take the thoughts and ideas that exist in my head and transfer them to your head. When I say God, all that happens in your head is the idea that was already in your head for God. So when you're talking to the person next to you in church and you say God, you still are talking about two different ideas. Let's continue.
And we are not him.
How do you know that? How do you know that we are not God? I've heard people tell me that God is everyone, or everything is God, and God is everywhere, and God is love. I love people. Okay, maybe, but according to Charlie, there is a God, and we are not him. Okay, let's keep going.
There is an entire dimension of angels and demons.
Okay, an entire dimension of angels and demons. Put a pin in just trying to define these words. Let's say that you are a reasonable atheist, a reasonable person who just doesn't really think about religion or not, but you're a good person. When you hear this, are you paying attention or are you tuning the fuck out? Even if it turns out that you actually agree with him, you don't know because he's using this coded language. It can't work that way. Let's keep going.
And spirits that are constantly struggling.
Oh, spirit. Yeah, another one.
Struggling around us. And that there is a supernatural dimension, as you mentioned.
Supernatural. One of my favorite words. Supernatural. What does natural mean? Natural meaning like existing as part of the natural world, right? So anything that exists is natural because it exists. Like even this computer is natural because we are humans and humans are of the earth and evolution, all that good stuff. It's part of nature. If it doesn't exist, well, then it doesn't exist. So where in that binary do we have space for supernatural? There is none. These words do not make sense. And these sentences mean something to people, but they don't make sense. And so if they mean something to you, that, again, good for you. But are you just trying to articulate something that works for you? Or are you trying to articulate what can work for everyone? Zippy said, that man has always... why are you starting a sentence with or? Man has always sought power, and thus men seeking power leads to chaos and obfuscation. If you're going to invoke God, then understand where God has placed us. God is a lousy excuse for men being evil. Bingo. A good zinger for religion. If your religion is the only way, then you are God, as you are the gatekeeper to God. True. Nah. Funkmaster said, one of my favorite shows. You never know what those wacky Winchester boys are getting up to. Over my head. I have no idea what that means.
All of a sudden, that doesn't make sense. It does not make any rational sense to shut.
Agreed. It doesn't make any sense. What you just said doesn't make any sense, Charlie. I'm glad we agree. TV Viersky said, I suspect the dimension of angels is the high level memory of simulation that, quote, God has the root password. I genuinely don't know if you're proposing this as as what maybe Charlie means, or if you're like using the words in a trolling manner to say a bunch of things that I could not possibly have a way to understand. Works the same way.
Shut down your schools so you could sacrifice the kids so the elderly can live. That makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever to keep your marijuana dispensaries open and your alcohol shops open, but the church not essential. Only a demonic enterprise would do such a thing.
No, not really. See, when you can get away from magical thinking like that, you can realize, people are addicts. And yes, it is unconstitutional and bad to close down churches and places of worship. What the fuck does that have to do with dispensaries and liquor stores? It's almost like you've created an enemy out of other people who are not your enemy. It's not the people going to the liquor stores and going to the dispensaries who are keeping you out of your church, Charlie. And yeah, I mean, exactly. If we're going to say, oh, well, there are addictions and they're bad for you. Come on. Zippy said, is it God or that man always has always sought power, and thus men seeking power leads to chaos and obfuscation? If you're going to invoke God, and then understand we are where God has placed us. There you go. There you go. We are where God has placed us. I am not in the position to just choose to believe in God. I am not in the position to study the things that I've studied, reread the Bible, and look at it a different way than I've looked at it every other time. Now, I'm not saying that I don't see different things, and even TV shows and movies, you revisit, you see different things. But I'm saying you're not going to see a different story, and that's not my choosing. So it doesn't make sense for the God who created me to want to punish me for that. That doesn't make any sense.
Alcohol shops open, but the church not essential. Only a demonic enterprise would do such a thing. Only a demonic enterprise.
And again, this gives fodder for the left to be like, see, oh, they're demonic because they have addictions, and and you're demonizing people, and you're racist. Oh, because black people are more likely to be in the liquor stores and smoke weed. You're giving them the fodder. You're giving them fodder. Stop being opaquely stupid. Just because there's a crowd cheering for your made up thing, made up ideas.
would say that Easter and Pentecost are not essential, but race rioting and burning down a Wendy's is essential activity.
Again, why can we not just focus on the fact that, hey, they said race rioting was an essential activity? That's a bad thing. Also, they said that worship was not an essential thing. And we also think that's a bad thing.
And Tucker, you talk about this a lot. For those of us that know the truth, we know that our God is a God of order and distinction.
Is he though? I don't know about that. One master said maybe they just want to have a little smoke before church and nip of some whiskey after. That right was taken away from them too, Charlie. Exactly. Exactly. The us versus them mentality. And especially, again, while I'm sitting here dedicating my life, I have a full-time fucking job. I'm dedicating my life to trying to spread the same types of messages, at least the same type of behavior as these two men, while they sit here and literally demonize me. How is that helping anybody? Except yourselves. Confirmation bias. All the Christians in the crowd. Oh, yeah, we're so much better than them. Oh, my God. Yeah. But no. It has nothing to do with supremacy. Nothing. On TV, so that was my Wendy's in Minneapolis. They burned down. I missed that place. I haven't been to Wendy's in a minute. I need to get me a Frosty. Zippy said, if God's not in control, then free will becomes a catch-22 of humans not changing because human nature hates change. Which is it, religion? Is God absolute or not? There you go. There you go. The churches smoke. The churches smoke. Yeah, right. That's. I'm glad that I'm far enough away from any kind of areas where I would expect rioting like that. But it really can happen anywhere. It really can happen anywhere. Sad.
What is the first thing that God did? In the Hebrew scriptures, it says, well, and also our scripture, in the original Genesis, Bereshit, which is in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and then he separated and he made sense. He made order out of chaos. Our God is a God of order, and order only comes with distinctions, and distinctions are necessary. Think about all the distinctions that God set up in the first 6 books of Genesis.
So again, I want you to take yourself out. Whoa, where am I? I want you to take yourself out of your own shoes for a minute and think about that independent, non-religious, genuinely good, moral person. They were all along. They're like, yeah, the immigrants and the schools and the this, and then we get to hear them. What do you think happens? What do you think happens?
That are currently under attack. The distinction between male and female. The distinction between man and nature. The distinction between the holy and the profane. The distinction between good and evil. The distinction between infant and adult. These distinctions have always been what Western civilization were built upon. But it is Satan's.
But it's almost like we don't need all of the same rationalizations given how that society has proceeded.
Goal to blur and eventually destroy those distinctions, because those distinctions of which we get order, and if you do not have that order, then you have the closest thing to satanic chaos here.
That's such a cop-out. It's like, my magic book says things. Look at my magic book. Damn you for not submitting to my magic book. You're demonic. I win. I mean, I forget who was saying that, these two were just doing like debate bro type stuff, but that's kind of it right there, no?
Man, it's amazing to me personally to hear you say that and to nod in vehement agreement with every word that you said.
Really? It's surprising that somebody would preach about the thing that you believe in and that you would agree with it? What?
Considering I think I was the most secular person on planet Earth just like 10 years ago, and I've arrived at exactly those conclusions, I think inductively, but also instinctively. What you said is true. That is true what you just said. So as someone else who's changed his mind about everything, and I'm happy to admit it, tell me about the progress of your thinking about politics. You're one of the reasons I respect.
He may as well be talking about Lord of the Rings, man. I mean, it's the same goddamn thing. Precious. Same thing.
Respect you is because you've always been honest about how you think about things, and when you change your mind, you proclaim it loudly. The evidence changed, and so did my conclusion. I've heard you say that. So tell me what the progress was like for you.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We're in Wichita, which is actually fitting because there is a reason that actually, you know where I'm going with this.
I know exactly where you're going. There's a large black building nearby.
Yeah, I don't know if it's black or white. Or
it is
rainbow. It might be rainbow actually. Which is that early when I got my start in the conservative movement in 2012, 13, 14, 15, hyper libertarian forces had taken over the conservative movement. Now I'm very libertarian on certain things. I'm libertarian on free speech, on privacy issues. I'm libertarian on guns, right? I'm libertarian on certain things. However, the kind of libertarianization of the conservative movement was actually not good for us.
Oh, wait, hold on. Audra with the token did a good job explaining the Bible. I agree. And then George R. R. Martin did the same damn thing, right? Oh, the imagery, the Jesus imagery, spot on. What was I just going to say? I was just going to say something. Oh, guys, if you were, nobody has joined the Discord, member or not. If you were gifted a membership, don't give up on the goodies. Join the Discord. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Send me a DM with your YouTube name, and you're in. You're good. And if you even if you were not gifted a membership, even if you're not a member, it's free. It's free.
It was not good for us to stop caring about the nuclear family. It was not good for us to all of a sudden say that borders don't matter and that America is just an idea and it's an experiment.
Agreed. Do we need to believe in the same God to agree on that? No, of course not.
Fell for that crap for a couple of years in 2015, 16, 17. Again, I'm not trying to pick on any sort of thing here in Wichita, but billions of dollars have flowed out of the city into the conservative movement to try to make us less conservative and more liberal in the conservative movement. That's a fact, okay? It is a fact. And I think that's
I don't even necessarily disagree with that. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I'm glad that you bring this up. If you just change your notifications, you just long press on the, look at this. You know what? We're going to do it right here just so you guys can see. So if you are in Discord, see, you got a bunch of different servers. Oh, where am I? Oh, I'm mirrored. So there's a bunch of different servers, and of course you can see the Indian Jesus one will be wherever you put it, you can move it. But if you just long press on the server, and watch, it's not going to do it because I'm trying to show it off, right? Then if you just long press on the server, then look what it gives you, notification options, and you can choose exactly which notifications you do and don't want. It's almost like they've thought of this already. But yeah, I'm not picking you out. I just meant to say that because everybody joins and then they either don't look at the notifications, so they get a million updates for every little post, which you don't want, or then they'll turn all notifications off, and then somebody will be trying to talk to you, and you don't know how to do it. So, you don't see it. So you want the balance. You want the mention notifications on and everything else off, so that people can talk and it's not blowing up your phone. But if you're involved, you want to know about it, right? That's how it goes. Oh, this all. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I hear ya. This one's trying to make me update, but I'm like my tabs and everything. I don't want to mess anything up. I like it. I don't want to update. It's working fine.
Less conservative and more liberal in the conservative movement. That's a fact. Okay, it is a fact. And I think it's a tragedy, actually.
Say that. I don't necessarily disagree that the conservative movement has become more liberal. The world has become more liberal, Charlie. So if you want to win, which is what politics is about, then you have to adjust. Now, I agree. It would have been great if we had done some adjusting 20 years ago instead of just and I mean, I say we as this side of the aisle, not like I was paying attention, but if the Republicans 20, 30, 40 years ago had not had this position of, well, we're just going to, slow down there, Democrats. Well, okay. That's all the Republican Party has done. Be a speed bump for the Democrats for as long as I've been alive. And only now, finally, are we actually putting forth ideas. Only now do I personally feel feel like I belong on this side of the aisle, despite what all the Christians say about it. And so, yeah, maybe we need to be a little bit more liberal. Maybe we need to be okay with the fact that gay dudes exist. And as long as they're not trying to fuck you, then maybe don't care who they vote for when they're voting in your favor. Zippy said collectivism and traditionalism are what destroys conservatism or liberalism via dilution and conflict. In the boom-bust cycles, we trust the world has become more slavish, less open-minded, and more dogmatic, which is never good. Audra Dawn said, I've avoided the Similarian Funkmaster General, but after learning that I just ordered, I'm assuming you guys are talking to yourselves. I'm gonna see what this is all about.
Liberal in the conservative movement. That's a fact. Okay, it is a fact, and I think it's a tragedy actually. And I credit Donald Trump for waking me up, because Donald Trump, I never got angry at the time. I wasn't angry. I never got unsettled about when Donald Trump would insult a reporter or do the Rosie O'Donnell thing. Do you know what always made me unsettled? When Donald Trump would bluntly ask a question that I didn't have a good answer to. When Donald Trump would say, and why are we bringing in people from around the world that hate us? And I'd say, well, according to the macroeconomic theory as espoused by F.A. Hayek and von Mises, if you look at the curve.
Okay, so you're talking about, going from being, I don't know if he was a never Trumper, but, not in favor of Trump. I was coming from, like I was saying before, more of the position of, I just wasn't paying attention to politics. Like, all in pop culture, movies and music, the Republicans were the bad guys and the Democrats were the good guys. Like I was listening to Anti-Flag in 6th grade, so like I knew about Operation Iraqi Liberation through a song titled OIL. So I just saw, and I still believe that the Bush administration was horrible. So again, that's the mentality. That's where that comes from. And so the change is not necessarily a bad thing. And if if you look at it that way, then again, you're simply going to continue to lose. It'll just be that Trump was a flash in the pan, and then we go back to the same old tired bullshit where nobody cares, which was kind of nice. But also, because nobody cares, they can do all of this shit under the cover of the darkness of nobody giving a shit.
Curve, you have a steady flow of people coming from other countries, then your economic efficiency and output is actually outweighed, and therefore a good thing. It's like, what am I saying to myself?
It's called rationalization.
And what Trump was able to do is he never went through that nonsensical abstraction like exercise, because Donald Trump at his best is someone that has always been so focused on the real and the immediate. Job sites, construction sites, the muscular class, building real things. Donald Trump has never been worried about like the platonic idea of love. Like that is not Donald Trump's thing. Do we all agree with that, right?
Right. And before he even goes on, we were bringing up in Discord the Teamster, the Teamsters not backing the Democrats. And they didn't specifically endorse Trump, but they told Trump about the fact that the Teamsters are not going to be endorsing Kamala. And it's like, oh wow, that's such an honor, because them not endorsing the Democrats is such a big has such big optics, because the Teamsters and the Democrats are like spaghetti and meatballs. Not anymore. Not anymore. And that is because the conservative party got a little bit more liberal by putting a lifelong Democrat in the White House.
And
he went light on the Play-Doh in college.
And that's fine.
Sure.
That's right. And I'm not, and people say, oh, Donald Trump is dumb. No, Donald Trump is wise. And he does not get credit for being wise. Wise is the knowledge of things that do not change. So Donald Trump loves the country. He comes along and he's like, the country that I love is being abused and it's become a dumping ground for the third world. It is actively being looted. This is bad. And at the time, I wasn't that forceful against the opposition, but I remember like privately being like, oh, he doesn't understand the economic theory behind all this. And the more I was challenged and questioned, I didn't have a good answer to that.
Samesies. And I was not as well read in 2015 as Charlie was in 2015. And so I just was able to swallow the mainstream bullshit, swallow that shit whole. And then when they screwed over my boy Bernie, not my boy anymore, but he was at the time, they screwed over Bernie, and I was like, well, the world's going to end if Trump wins. And somehow, almost 10 years later, with a Trump presidency in there, people still think that's the case. How?
And so it made me start to ask the question, what do I really value? Do I value economic theory, or do I value my family and my fellow countrymen? Like, do I value a bumper sticker that says that, you know, I don't know, whatever stupid libertarian bumper sticker that was around, 5 or 6 years ago, like live and let live? Or do I
Well, let's not get into no John Trump talk. That's a conversation for another day.
value children that should not be subjected to drag queen story hour at their local library? Like, which one is it actually? And then I've always been a Christian and connect the dots. And I gotta be honest, Tucker, you were the one that radicalized me more than anybody else the last 5 to 10 years. Do you guys agree? Because then Tucker.
So anybody who wants to say clickbait, he said radical,
would go on his Fox show and would just start asking the same questions, and would have guests that would ask the questions, and they'd always attack Tucker. Oh, he's just asking questions. But isn't that what the pursuit of truth is all about? Isn't that what Christ our Lord did? And if you don't have good answers to simple questions, maybe you're not that deep. Maybe you've overthought yourself into some sort of word salad, and you can't answer in a beautiful and a crisp way because you're actually not that deep. And you're
okay. So let's take that and apply that to your statement about the God is real and we're not him, and there's a dimension, a spiritual dimension of demons and spirits. Let's apply that. Let's apply that to what you just said.
Isn't that what Christ our Lord did? And if you don't have good answers to simple questions, maybe you're not that deep. Maybe you've overthought yourself into some sort of word salad, and you can't answer in a beautiful and a crisp way because you're actually not that deep, and you're not protecting things that are good and that are true and everlasting and divine and eternal. And so for me, especially 2017, 18, 19, where I said some really stupid stuff, it really made me go on this journey. And then when I met my wife and we got married and have children, all of a sudden I said, that's my mission statement. It's not about trying to defend democracy and hate.
Okay, so again, are you under the impression, Charlie, that those who don't believe in God don't have some, don't see the value in their children like that? If you do not have good answers to simple questions, then God, yeah, exactly. Like God of the gaps or personal incredulity. Pick one. Audra said, I actually like the typo with traditionalism versus collectivism. Tribalism has become collective. So it's a really empty tribalism or traditionalism, religion, and collectivism. I can speak words and stuff on the destroying pendulum. I think we got there. I think we all got somehow on the same page. I think we're all saying the same thing, that the back and forthness of this stuff is hard to kind of find the right balance, because if you go back 6 months ago or was it, I don't know, when was the Bud Light thing? Was that last summer? Was that long ago? But if we go back to that and we were starting to be like, oh, yo, I think like the anti-woke stuff, like I think we might be turning this ship around. And like understanding that at that time when we were talking about like, the pendulum swings and it's swinging back and like, oh, let's catch it in the middle. Like we were, saying that colloquially, but there is no middle. It's not an actual pendulum. It just zooms from one side to the other, and it doesn't actually find any middle. Things, will go higher and lower in terms of how chaotic they are. But not exactly as simple. Because if it was a pendulum, then we could all just stand there, hold. I don't work like that. Shout out, brother. You have a good one.
My mission statement is my children. My mission statement is to make sure my kids can be raised in a healthy, safe, clean, and orderly country and not have to worry about some foreigner that's been imported from the third world that is going to commit violence against them. That they're going to.
And again, the last time I'll do this because he's not really harping on it that much, but I do really, again, want to say, yes, maybe if you talk about the blue-haired atheists that hate America, hate themselves, hate children, yeah, maybe those people are not going to necessarily see family as valuable. But that's not the average person who doesn't go to church every Sunday. And the average person who calls themselves Christian just does that because for the same reason that I called myself a Democrat in 2015, because it was the default for somebody who I'm on this side. That side seems like the bad side. That's what people think when they say they're Christian. They just mean I'm not a bad person. And that's why it's bad language, because it's not effective.
Worry about some foreigner that's been imported from the third world that is going to commit violence against them, that they're going to have to compete against them to buy a home, that they're going to have to compete against them to get a job. And so my mission statement changed from something that was distant and very, very far away in the clouds to what is immediate. And those of us that are conservatives, we must understand, and Tucker hit it in his opening address, it is easy and it is simple and tempting to say that you're fighting climate change. It's hard to raise good kids. And the people.
And there was, yeah, so as you can see, we jumped into right where Charlie jumped in right around here. But before that, Tucker was doing, his own speech. And I'm not sure if these are, these are different events that he's doing, like with RFK and Vivek. He has one with Megyn Kelly. I don't know if they're different events or if it's the same event and it's just cut up. I don't know. But he has done a speech before each of the ones that I've seen. So it does seem like they're different events. Either way, point being, the link is in the description if you want to see that whole thing, because we are definitely not going to get to it tonight.
People who want to fight climate change, they tend to not put any of their energy towards raising good people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, totally. I mean, no, I love it. I love everything that you're saying. And I just always think to myself, I never articulate it, but I think a lot of things I don't articulate. As my wife always says, you need to understand the beauty of the unexpressed thought. But I often think when I'm getting a moral lecture from one of, somebody in charge, which is the one thing they're really good at, is immediately seizing the moral high ground. People who have no basis for moral certainty seize the moral high ground and start lecturing you like you're a bad person. But I always think to myself, why don't you, I don't know, let's just start with the basics. Why don't you make the same woman happy for 30 years and get back to me? Okay? Why don't we start there? Have you done that? Have you made the same woman happy for 30 years? I don't think you're capable of that, actually. I also don't think you could change a tire. So why don't you shut up?
And again, I totally am behind the idea that what have you accomplished that I should be listening to you? I get that. But again, do you not see how condescending that is? Do you think that I'm out, that most of us single men are out here just nah, maybe the male feminists, but most of us are looking for wifey, bro. What do you want me to do?
For 30 years, I don't think you're.
And I do know how to change a tire.
Capable of that, actually. I also don't think you could change a tire. So why don't you shut up? So yeah, because all that matters are the things that really matter. And by the way, this whole system is created.
And all the things that matter are actually the things that I find important and nothing that you find important. Isn't that super convenient?
Yeah, because all that matters are the things that really matter. And by the way, this whole system is created, and I mean the economic system, in which Joe Biden voters own 70% of the nation's wealth and the useful people own 30%. The whole system is set up to give money and prestige to useless people who in a fair society would be screwed because they can't do anything. And that's the truth. So all the things you actually need in life are provided by a really small number of people who are also the worst paid. So I'm just throwing this out there, and I don't mean any offense to the Kochs, but I actually think that we could get by a week in this country without private equity. I just think we could. I think we could survive. I think we could do that if we all banded together. Do you know what I mean? Or the payday loan people. I think we'd probably make it without them. But we couldn't make it without farmers, people who grow the food, or who fix the cars, or paint the houses, or plumb the bathrooms. all the useful people are despised and the totally useless people are deified. So it's like, how long could you live? If DEI consultants were eliminated tomorrow, would your kids come to you and say, Dad, I can't make it another day without a DEI consultant? Or school counselors. I don't know what to do. I don't have a school counselor.
But again, why do these things exist? These things are a response to religion. Wait, you can hear my air conditioner? Damn, this mic is good. If that's mine, if you're talking about mine, that is really good. Nobody's ever said anything about it before. But Zippy said enlightenment and liberalism, in my opinion, are a process or processes. Are processes that seek to grant the individual more independence. The trouble is collective and tribal processes corrupt it, creating neoliberalism. Neoliberalism is the slave empire of the times. There you go. Oh, okay. I was gonna be like, God damn, that's a good ass mic. I got it for like $7. And it's one of those that like all the kids on TikTok, they hold it when it has a clip specifically meant to come on your shirt. Pisses me off. These goddamn Zoomers. Just kidding. All right. Where are we at here?
Some heavy-set, middle-aged lady pushing transgenderism on my kids. I don't know how we can exist without that.
Bro.
And the truth is...
Bro. I was so scared that night. I was like, please do not let me have to sleep in my car. That was bad. Pushing transgenderism on my kids. I don't know how we can exist without that. And the truth is, we'd be not only fine, but much improved. And yet they somehow have all the money and all the moral authority. And they're writing pieces in the Atlantic about how you're evil because you don't want to live next to the people who just got here illegally. Like, again, agreed, Tucker. But we can't get away from the fact that the majority of your career was pushing exactly this stuff. Let's not forget about that. So while you sit up literally on your high horse on a stage and tell everybody about how you're so perfect and I can't do anything. So like, it's like, you're so close. Is that how Christ would act? Is that how Christ would speak to a crowd of people? Like, what are we doing? These are the people who are supposed to be the ones that dictate our lives, the movement that shows us how our society is going to work. I like Tucker. I respect Tucker and Charlie Kirk. But if they're the best we have and they're this bad on certain things, we got to wake up to the fact that, hey, there's some holes in the logic. There's some holes in the story. And maybe the short brown atheist is just the guy to teach you all what's really good.
Sorry. The most interesting and newsworthy television show of the year is coming here to TCN. We are not bragging. That's actually true. So our longtime producer, Justin Wells, and a team have been embedded, with no publicity at all, with Donald Trump on the campaign trail for months. They're the only crew capturing what is going on the campaign.
As much as I do disagree with you, Tucker, I want to help promote whatever it is.
In real time, intimately. They're with Trump as he campaigns for the presidency across the country, and they've shot some amazing footage. It shows you what it's really like in there. So if you're a member, you will soon be able to get this docu-series covering the historic campaign, the fall of Joe Biden, never before seen footage from the assassination attempt at the Butler Township, Pennsylvania Trump rally, and a lot more. It's going to pull back the curtain completely. They are embedded inside the campaign. I can't wait to see it personally. But to get it, we're proud to offer it. So yes, really, everything that you rejected is this incredibly sophisticated justification for the worst kind of behavior, including economic behavior, which we've been trained to ignore. But how did all the money get in the hands of the worst people? How did the people who killed Jeffrey Epstein, how do they get private planes? And the best people in the country are like so deeply in debt they can't go on vacation. Like, that's not a good system. I don't care what you call it. It's not a free market. It's a totally rigged market, a market rigged for the worst people. Huh.
Oh, I mean, yeah, okay, agreed. But like, that's kind of something I would expect to hear from like a sophomore econ major. Like, this system is set up for the rest. Like, yeah, no shit, dude. No shit. You're one of them. What are you talking about?
And look at where the wealthiest counties are. The wealthiest counties in America, which vote for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, geographically used to be around Chicago and Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati. It used to be in the heartland.
Hey, shout out to our boy Jeff Pearson. Welcome to the party. So many of the media folks we like lack breadth of knowledge. At least that is the best way I can articulate it. And I think you are spot on, sir. I think you are spot on. I mean, I try to be as open as I can about my blind spots and area. Like, nobody can know everything about everything. So that's not like a bad thing that you don't know everything about everything. Like, nobody knows everything about everything. Some of us know more about this stuff than that stuff. A bunch of you are going to know way more about Israel and Ukraine than I am. Foreign affairs in general. Someone from the Discord was bringing up the fact that the Teamsters weren't endorsing the Democrats as if, and this isn't shade on them. This is just showing my own lack of my own bonus holes in my logic. Maybe not my logic, but my knowledge. That's how long do we talk about the Teamster thing? That was like a 3-minute thing because I don't really know anything about that except the Teamsters always vote Democrat and now they're not. That seems, according to people, that's a big deal. So like I understand the concept of that. I understand the meaning behind that, but I don't really have anything to tell you guys about that. And I'm okay with that. Like, people will give me shit for, like, bro, you don't know this? Like, yeah, there's things. I know it's amazing that there could be something that the Indian Jesus doesn't know, but I promise you it does exist. Welcome to the party, Jeff. Always good to see you. Zibby said minors need to be protected, including fetuses that can survive outside of the mother, or fetuses that can't. And not forcing crap on individuals who harm others, etc. Neutrality and impartiality is best. God, not so much. Agreed. Like I said, don't top minors, bro. It's a bad look. Agreed. Don't bottom for them either.
Geographically used to be around Chicago and Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati. It used to be in the heartland. Now 8 out of 10 of the wealthiest counties in America are around Washington, D.C. It's the ruling class corridor. And what do they create? Well, you guys here in Wichita, Kansas, you create real stuff here. You make real things. It's not abstraction. You guys aren't just trading derivatives and you're not just shorting stocks.
You're making airplanes. Like, I like airplanes.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
I mean, are they making Boeing airplanes? Because I mean, he's not the best example. But don't forget, guys, every donation comes with a treat for Morty, whether it's Super Chat, Cash App, Venmo, or anything else. Feed my puppy. He doesn't eat unless you pay.
Or you're extracting minerals from the earth, or you're growing food, or you're transporting those goods and services. You're making real stuff. And yet the center of wealth has gravitated away from production of things that you need to survive towards an upside down looting operation that we call paying taxes. And that upside down looting operation is that you are penalized for playing by the rules. You have to pay taxes that you can't afford, that break your back. And also you get a tax with inflation and everything else gets more expensive. And then the parasites in DC, they take that money and they reverse launder it back while they then are able to build an imperial capital for what? So our capital went from a place that was nice to visit and was clean and orderly.
See, so even as Charlie's talking about this, like, he is explaining things in a more in-depth way. And again, maybe it is that Tucker's here to just be like, teeing up Charlie or whoever he has on stage. But yeah, that, like, well, all the rich people are voting for the Democrats. Like, yeah, no shit. You're making airplanes in Chinese materials. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
For what? So our capital went from a place that was nice to visit and was clean and orderly to now being basically the wealth center of the country. And that is a bad, bad sign, everybody. The wealth place should be decentralized and around where entrepreneurs are, where real choices are made, where manufacturing is, not of just the managerial class. and then also look at what their values and their morals are. Around DC is the most secular, the least religious, the most hostile to your value system in your.
But that's not a value set, or that's not just because they don't have your values doesn't mean they don't have values. I agree that they don't have values, but it's not just because they don't have your values, because I don't necessarily have your values, but I still have values. And again, you're just dichotomizing. Good people are with Christ and Yahweh of the Bible, and bad people are not. And I mean, well, if you have a God, if you're Hindu, you're Muslim or something, that's kind of the same thing. So, well, that's enough. And if you don't believe, as long as you say you're agnostic, instead of actually admitting to the fact that you're an atheist, even though that atheist doesn't mean I believe there's no God, it just means I'm not convinced that there are any gods. I don't remember where I was going with that, but you don't, like, again, forcing the religion around the actual value. Forcing the religious belief around the value. You have the value that we want families. We want actual production. But why do you need to wrap that around your particular belief? You said it yourself. It's because they don't have values. It's not because they don't have religion. That's not the same thing. Words have meanings.
Around DC is the most secular, the least religious, the most hostile to your value system and your worldview, and yet they're extracting your money, and they're not doing it voluntarily, and that's the kicker. For all of you here that have made money, you've made money through persuading somebody to buy your good or service. In DC, they make it by force, but with a gun. They put the gun to your head, give us money, and if not, we're going to put you in federal prison if you don't pay your taxes. And in DC, similar to what we saw during COVID, is you fail upward. Anthony Fauci gets promoted after what he did during COVID. In a real world, Anthony Fauci should be in Gitmo for what he did during COVID. But in the world,
exactly. Hold on, what? Exactly. I mean, you may or may not be joking, but it doesn't matter because this applies to real people. Like Master said, I was with Yahweh back then. My values were sketchy back then too. I mean, we don't even have to go past the church leaders. How many church leaders have we seen that are all bought in and are pieces of shit? Clearly, that is a correlation and not a causation. Clearly. Because all the atheists are in prison, right? And all the Christians are out here. Oh, no. Most people in prison, at least in this country, are Christian. Zippy says, law goes to hell when government runs on Ponzi schemes. IP mafias are controlling the market via bad law and regulatory capture. If only the FTC and FCC did their jobs. Trust bust. Does that have to go kind of in line with like the Section 230 arguments of the social media platforms just having too much control of our speech? Because yeah, I'm not about that.
Of DC, he's lauded. Peter Strzok Smirk, promoted. He has a professorship at Georgetown. Lisa Page, Lois Lerner from the IRS scandal. No one there is held accountable.
Loser.
And the founders never envisioned this form of government. And again, one of the reasons why Trump is so popular is that he has identified it and he has antagonized this Leviathan, this fourth branch of government. And I don't know how much more the heartland of the country can stand the abuse. And can I just talk about Springfield, Ohio, really quick? Which, of course, with the Haitian cat eaters that are coming in. Which, by the way, I did not.
They're eating the dog. Eating the dogs. Have you guys seen that? We are definitely playing that. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Trump eat cat song. There's no way this doesn't come up. I know I'm not good at searching on
eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
Seeing red, so don't push me. Ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the. Said it was some Haitians somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels.
Have you seen Garfield? Eat the cat.
Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me where my cat is coughing up like a hairball.
Eat the cat.
I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger helper. Somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter. Usually I'm content, but if you touch my dog, then I'm turning into John Wick. I'm lit. Bird better drop it. If you touch my pet, then I'm pulling up like CrossFit.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
So
Eat
catchy.
the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. Eat the cat.
It's a shame, it's a pity. Thought overseas where they said Hello Kitty, but it ain't there, it's right here in your city. When I turn my back, now the cat goes missing in the where my peoples is at. Does anybody know where he flipping at? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And the cat got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was
all right. But the funniest thing about it is I'm pretty sure that was put together by somebody on like the original song was put together by somebody on the left who was trying to make Trump look bad, and we were all just like, "Hey, yo, that's a bop! That's a bop!"
Of course, with the the Haitian cat eaters that are coming in. By the way, I did not anticipate us talking about cats this much in the 2024 election. It's just really amazing.
I don't even like cats, and here I am defending them.
I'm neutral on the cat question, for the record. Okay. So
there's a gay joke in there. I'm not gonna make it, but it's there if you want to. Guys, if you've not already hit the subscribe button, make sure you do. I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern down in the studio. And then whenever I want, I'll be coming on here from the bedroom to be chilling with y'all. You never want to miss an Indian Jesus live party. Hit that subscribe. And you can get your own merch at TheIndianJesus.com. Go check it out.
But Springfield, Ohio is a perfect example of how the ruling class has treated the heartland of the country. Step one, we close the factories and we send them overseas so that people don't have work.
Yep.
Step two, we flood those communities with opioids so that they're permanently addicted and we kill a lot of them. Step three, we send their kids, their sons and daughters, to go fight no-win wars, and they come back with permanent health issues. Step four, we flood their town with foreigners after we've completely abused and broken them, and we sent their jobs overseas. Step five, the residents who are still there and have survived all this abuse notice that the foreigners are doing really weird stuff and illegal stuff, like driving ahead on traffic, killing kids, eating cats, and taking geese out of the pond.
Yup. So, okay, if you're a loser, type in the chat, dogs are gay, cats are pussy. Oh, I knew it, Zippy. I knew it. Of course. Dogs are so far superior to cats. It's not even funny.
Stuff and illegal stuff, like driving ahead on traffic, killing kids, eating cats, and taking geese out of the pond. And then we call the people that are still there in Springfield racist after their factories have closed and their sons died in Iraq and they're addicted to opioids and their local schools being overrun by Haitians, but they're racist for noticing that their home is turning into Port-au-Prince.
Yep, it's the same old playbook. First, it's a conspiracy theory. Then it happens, but that's just one example. And then, oh yeah, actually that is happening. And if you don't like it, you're a bigot. Give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks, and they will be saying, can you, it's crazy how these racist MAGA people are looking at a different culture, and that's what it's going to turn into. That's what it's going to turn into. It always does. It always does.
And you wonder why Donald Trump's poll numbers don't go down. You wonder why so many people wear that red MAGA hat in Springfield, Ohio, because he is the only lifeline that these people have. He is the only hope that they have, the only person that does not insult them or talk down to them and wants to lead a rebellion and, yes, a revenge campaign against the people that have done this to them and destroyed their home.
Absolutely. And, my the last time Papa Lutch came around these parts when we went to see Am I Racist? If you have not seen it, go spend your money on that. He picked me up and we were driving to the theater, and the theater's only like 15 minutes away from me. But as I've told you guys before, I'm like my little development's like tucked away, so it's a decent little drive to get anywhere. And we saw about 4 or 5 Trump signs, and he was like, "Oh wow, we're seeing a lot more Trump signs up here. We're seeing them down by me too." And then this was Funk, you'll be able to fact check me on this. There was the rally that he held today. I want to say it was in Long Island, but I could be making that up. But wherever it was right in the tri-state area, which is always a very blue area. And there was a venue. The venue could only hold 16,000 people, but they got requests for 60,000. And so in these blue states, things are a-changing. They're a-changing. And I mean, again, this is more of a suburb, so you're going to get a decent, kind of 50-50 here. But you see a lot more people being openly okay with Trump stuff, American flags, which, again, that's crazy. That's become a partisan thing. Zippy said, cats are like women, annoying, randomly independent, and clingy. Agreed. Don't need either of them.
Amen. It's not only is it homicidal, which it is. The Sacklers are still billionaires, by the way. Their names are still in the buildings at Harvard. But it's insulting, and that's what I kind of can't take. I live in a very rural area. Our waterfowl season starts really soon. I got a call from a friend of mine yesterday. And it's just interesting to see people's different takes on news stories. He's not against Haitians. He doesn't know where Haiti is. But he's like, and I've shot geese my whole life, I'll just say. I plan to do it again in a few weeks. And he goes, if I shot a goose without a license, the game warden would haul me off.
Bro, I forgot. They were already doing that. They're taking random people's pictures of them going hunting and putting it next to what was supposedly, like, I think most of the ones I saw was some black dude carrying geese, and it was not a legal immigrant eating them, but like people were putting that picture next to a guy who was like holding up. It's like, the fact that you think this is a thing, the fact that you think that this is a good argument, is such a great demonstration of how far away from understanding us you really are. Longmaster said, Long Island is Trump country from Queens to Montauk. Let's go. How
do these people show up to our country? They kill the geese. They don't have to buy a license. I mean, it's a different way of thinking about it. But his takeaway was the same. And by the way, I just want to say, I don't think they're eating the geese. I think they're sacrificing them. I mean, they're coming from a country where witchcraft is the dominant religion. That's a fact.
Bruh. Maybe hold on to that one until we get some more actual information.
Anyone who denies it hasn't ever actually been to the country as I have, or doesn't know anything about it. That's a fact. I don't think.
Again, fair. You might be right. But optics matter. So maybe hold off on the thing that that they're going to call racist. Don't give them the fodder.
We should import people who practice witchcraft. I think that should be illegal. I'm sorry. It's my country. I don't want witchcraft here. Fair? Oh, shut up. I don't care what you call me. No witchcraft, because it's real. But
again, this is how women are the hardest to get to vote for the Republican Party, right? Women are also very woo-woo in this kind of stuff with crystals and astrology and witches. There's girls that I know who legitimately think they're, what do they call it, Wiccan. Do you need to alienate people every time you make a point? I'm not saying we need to go, make a coalition to bring witches into. That's not what I'm saying. But was this necessary? That's exactly. Witchcraft is protected under the First Amendment. That's not my America. If you're weird, go be weird away from me. But enjoy your weirdness. That's what I'm saying. There is a rift.
Fair? Oh, shut up. I don't care what you call me. No witchcraft, because it's real. But what I notice most is the hatred that...
Wait. Did he really just say that? Did he just say no? Because it's real?
No witchcraft, because it's real. But...
Bruh.
What I know...
So you're one of them. You're one of them. You're a Wiccan. Tucker Carlson is a Wiccan. He believes in spells. That doesn't sound very Christian to me, but what do I know? I'm just a dirty heathen, right? Jesus fucking Christ.
I don't care what you call me. No witchcraft, because it's real. But what I notice most is the hatred that leaders have for the country. It's hatred. You watch them as they die, you don't care. You lecture them. Our senile president screamed at Americans who dared to complain about the disappearing geese today. You're racists. This is an attack on a group. No, it's not. Don't treat me with contempt. Giving people who come here illegally cell phones, housing vouchers, free plane tickets. Rural hospitals across the country are closing because the emergency rooms are overburdened by people who broke the law to get here. You can't get health care. Try to go to an emergency room right now. You can't get medical care. You pay for that. It's the most insulting thing I've ever seen. It's, by the way, not an attack on the people who came here. I would have too. I mean, I'm not mad at them, actually. I'm mad at our leaders.
There you go. There you go. That is how you speak to issues. Put the people who cause the issues in the crosshairs. Stop talking about you just said you don't blame these people. They're just coming here for a better life. You would do the same thing. So stop demonizing them. It doesn't help anything. It only makes things worse. Sometimes you got to know which ideas should just stay in your head, or at least not when you're on stage on camera.
I've never seen any population treated the way Americans are being treated by their leaders now. And
I think historically the Jews would probably disagree with that. In America, just Polish, Italians, Chinese, Japanese rather. I think they were treated a little bit worse, but you know, I'm not here for the oppression Olympics.
Seen any population treated the way Americans are being treated by their leaders now. And I'm very worried that at some point people will be like, I'm not putting up with this. I don't know why anybody pays taxes in this country. I'm not.
Because they will kill you. Maybe not kill you, but eventually they'll lock you up for life.
For the record, I'm not counseling not pay your taxes because I don't want to get arrested. But I just don't understand the consent level in this country is still incredibly high. Maybe we're just like,
you said it. You just said, I don't get why people aren't doing this thing, but don't do it because I don't want to get arrested. Come on, man. Why? I get frustrated because exactly, Trey. Thank you. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. This is what you get with rhetoric like this. Do you want to win or do you want to sound cool? Do you want things to be better or do you want to sound cool? Because this ain't it. Welcome to the party, brother. Good timing. Good timing. Yeah, right? Blacks, natives, Chinese, lots of people got crushed by the American government and their government. I mean, now you're just saying things. And I agree with a lot of the positions that you hold, but when you say such wild shit like that, how can I do anything except call it out? Because then now my fucking reputation of being willing to call it like I see it is on the table. And of course, we know how fickle the average viewer is. So somebody jumping into the stream is going to be like, oh, are you on my side or are you on the other side? I don't fucking know anymore, dude. I don't know. I'm on my side. Are you on my side or not? That's all that matters. I'm on my side. If you're not on my side,
your taxes because I don't want to get arrested. But I just don't understand the consent level in this country is still incredibly high. Maybe we're just like moving through the motions or something.
Shout out to Zippy. Oh my God. Christians stubbed their toe and it's the government's fault. The war on Christianity. Oh no. What will we do? It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Just all the good people are the people they lecture and call names. And because they are good people, they're dutiful people and they just do what they think.
Bro, you were just calling people names though. Like, this is what I mean. You can't make that argument when you undercut your own fucking argument.
Think they're supposed to do, but I don't know why they're doing it. Why would you send $1 to people who laugh over your death? Your nephew dies of fentanyl and they don't care and you're still sending the money? I don't get that, honestly.
Yeah, and the answer though, Tucker, is because they've done a successful pattern of show trials. And,
I know.
And no, this is a real thing. Why do I still pay taxes and you? Obviously, because we have friends in federal prison. Like Steve Bannon right now is in federal prison for not committing a crime. And so, they do this, by the way, to chill the population, to remind you that your door could get knocked on next. and your business could get raided. Now, my
shout out to Diddy. 1,000 bottles. Did I? Oh, please tell me I saved that. Please tell me I saved that. Hey, Garrett Grant in the building and Discord. And boom, just like that. Oh, wrong one. No, it should be right there. What the hell? Oh, yeah. Boom. There you go. Now you've got the permissions for the entire server. There you go. There you go. Yeah, anybody else, if you joined and you were gifted a membership, make sure you let me know what your YouTube name is so that I can give you the permissions. What was I looking for?
population to remind you that your door could get knocked on next and your business could get raided. Now, mind you, this is what Sam Francis, by the way.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, no, I definitely shared that. I know for sure I shared the Diddy thing. Maybe I put it in the free chat. Hold on. Oh, Jesus. You guys and your goddamn racism talk. Racism. Oh, look, it's racism. Maybe I put it in this one. Hold on. It's got to be here. Where is it? There's no way. Yes, there we go. Okay. So I don't know if you heard, but in Diddy's indictment, there was a thing that said that he had a closet with 1,000 bottles of baby oil for his freak offs. And somebody was like, 1,000? Actually, wait, is this the one? No, hold on. Wait. I might have a better one. Oh, I forgot to. I shared it, but I forgot to share the actual link. But either way, figure this out.
Look, bro, it's 2:30 in the morning, and I could not sleep until I actually hopped in the blender to visualize this.
It's a program to visualize, like make models and shit.
This is 1,000 bottles of baby oil. This is insane. This is heinous, bro. Like literally 1,000. Like, bro, that's not a hyperbole. This is what 1,000 bottles of baby oil looks like.
OD. Yeah, they'll kick your door in. For show. Zippy said, lots of people getting obsessed, but damn, Christians are whiny asses. Why not look at everyone that's getting obsessed? Like the witches you whine about. Why can't witchcraft just be another way to talk to God with copious amounts of shrooms and weed? There you go. But no, it has to be my way. All right, how much more do we got here? All right, I don't really care to hear them talk about the upcoming election, so we'll go. We got another 10 minutes.
I got a lot to talk about Sam Francis, who I love. He had a great term called anarcho-tyranny, which is anarchy for the stuff they don't care about, but tyranny for political crimes. So if you walk the streets of San Francisco, you'll see a bunch of junkies shooting up, people defecating on the side of the street. You could probably get mugged or robbed. Would anyone feel safe walking San Francisco at night? Of course not. And by the way, that alone is a violation of the social contract. If you can't walk your most beautiful cities in your country at night, your leaders have failed and they all must go. That is a very simple test of your leaders. If you cannot walk the most beautiful cities you have at night, you're done. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. If you can't walk in Dallas or Houston or Austin, if you don't feel safe in your own cities at night, then you're a prisoner in your own home.
Well, and what's the point of government? Like, what is the point of government, actually?
There literally is no point except for control.
I mean, if
That's
public
the most
safety
basic thing.
isn't the point of government, then what is it? To spread traineeism around the world? I mean, like, there's no other point.
Or taxpayer-funded abortions, I guess. I mean, but just to give you an idea of the scale, do you know that we have brought in 5% of the population of Haiti? 5% of the population of Haiti. And no one is stopping it because one of our core founding myths of the modern American experiment, neoliberalism that Trump's trying to defeat, is that, well, diversity is our strength. Actually, diversity is not our strength. Unity is.
Oh, is it though? Diversity is our strength, but not diversity of skin color, diversity of literally everything else. Well, I mean, skin color too, sure. But that's really, 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 really low on the list. So because the Christians need weed and shrooms to open their third eye so they can see the glory or horror of God. I mean, I would just say reality. Why are we using this word? Why are we using this word? Tell me that this would not be better communicated if instead of typing the words God with a capital G, you just said reality or nature. Everybody then will know exactly what you mean. I don't get it. I don't get it. I do not understand. Get that word out of your vocabulary if you want people to understand what it is that you are saying.
Is our strength. Actually, whoever came up with this idea of our differences make us stronger, it is self-defeating at its face.
Well, you're married. Is it true in your house? The less you have in common with your wife?
The drug. Stop fucking giving it to him. That is the drug.
The better you get along?
Yeah, those days are great. I mean, again,
like what?
Wait.
No, those days are feeding at its face.
Well, you're married. Is it true in your house? The less you have in common with your wife, the better you get along?
Yeah, those days are great. I mean, again,
like what?
I mean, according to the red pillars, you don't want a woman like you. You just want somebody there. But yeah, exactly. Diversity of ideas, not of peoples, not of colors, but thoughts. But I think culture, diversity of culture is an important thing too. And I think that's slightly different than just saying having different ideas. And those are different peoples. But it's not based on color.
None of their bumper stickers or their cliches ever make any sense in practice at all. But understand, so you have Joe Biden scolding the population for caring that their home is disappearing. He should, who should be scolded are the people that are coming in their country and looting our country and saying, we're not going to put up with this. But you're right, Tucker, it is a contempt for the citizen. Why is there contempt? I've done a lot of thinking about this. And it's part of it.
Before you say anything, again, I just want you to realize that you just spent the last half hour talking about the citizens of a different country as if they're the problem. I'm just pointing that out. I'm not giving my perspective. I'm just saying you just said that.
It is values. I think that's right. I think part of it is Christianity. But I really believe that there's such a hatred for Christianity that any part of the population that is like remotely Christian, they inherently hate you because the real goal is to eliminate Christianity. Do you notice that they never are like enthusiastic about bringing in major parts of the population of Eastern Europe that are super Christian? Yet they're like, let's go bring in the witchcraft country. Kind of weird. Like more witchcraft, less Christianity. I don't understand how that works out. But the contempt is very simple. Is that they think that they are so much better than you. It is an elite.
Oh my God. Projection. Holy shit. Holy shit. You, Charlie Kirk and Tucker Carlson, going to sit on a stage and talk about these foreigners doing this, that, and other, and even Americans doing things that I find weird. And they think that they're better. It's not you. Pot, meat, kettle.
Very simple. Is that they think that they are so much better than you. It is an elitist hierarchical position, and that you're an annoyance. That your concerns, that what you're doing is just kind of stay out of the way. And I know people disagree with me. I think this is behind the push for legalizing marijuana. I think this is the push for trying to overly medicate the society, is they do not want a disagreeable citizenry. This is why they want testosterone rates to go down. This is why they wanted to kick the military men out of the alpha men out of the military.
There you go. So I think that this is perfectly encapsulates the issue with the mentality. Where do Christians go to on missions? To witchcraft countries, not poor Christian nations. If your faith and what you believed in was so strong, then how could some witchcraft foreigners come and tear down God's country? It's just really sad when people won't let themselves be critical critical of their own ideas. Drugs is liberty. Are you for liberty or not? Clearly, they're not. Clearly, they're not. And so, just because I agree with a lot of the positions doesn't mean we're all on the same team. That being said, just because we're not all on the same team doesn't mean we can't work together. It's balance. It's a circle. It's really not that complicated. I don't know why. I don't like. I wish I understood where the disconnect was, so that I could better address exactly. Oh, you think this? Whatever wrong idea y'all have, I don't get it. And you guys, in general, are really, 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 really bad at articulating it. So I'm just gonna keep doing this until y'all figure out what the fuck it is that you actually think. And then I'll knock that off the table, and then we can move on and actually start to fix America. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Once again, that is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Big shout out to the sponsors of the stream. We had Funk Master General coming in hot with the $5, 5 gifted, another 5 gifted, and of course Garrett Grant with the 10 gifted memberships. Guys, remember, Discord is free. And even though it is not a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I am going to be in the after party while I roll up my nighttime joints if you want to come hang out. It's going to be a good time. But thank you again so much for hanging out with me. Let's grab this from Zippy on our way out. Said Christians are a bit self-important because they are the gateway to God. They are God. They like to, they won't admit it, but you're goddamn right. Maybe, but until I know for sure that there is no way to reconnect the disconnect, then I'm gonna keep going. Because there's a lot of people like me out here, and we're not gonna just sit down. We're not just gonna go to the side. We have values and principles and things that we want just as much as you. You know, being human beings. Crazy thought, I know. But if you just think of all Americans under the same umbrella, you'll be much better off. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Once again, that is Morty. I am Lutch. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, live. I will see you guys there. Thank you. Until next time, we are out of here. Peace.